Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Middlesex County Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started as you file into this virtual meeting room. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Just a note about that, if you have a question for a specific school, just make sure you name the school in your question so that they know it's for them. Your cameras and microphones are off, so the panelists can't see or hear you, so don't worry about what you look like or anything like that. Just concentrate on the great information you're going to be getting over the next 40 minutes or so. This is just one of several sessions happening. Make sure to sign up for additional ones. And this presentation is being recorded. It'll be available within about a week at the same website where you registered for this session. We are in session C4. It is in the bottom right part of the screen there. And so those are the schools that will be presenting, with the exception of University of Central Lancashire. They are not able to join us this evening. All right, I've gotten all the housekeeping stuff out of the way, so I will step out of the way and turn it over to our first presentation from Massachusetts Maritime Academy.
Great, thank you. And I'm just going to share my screen. Great, and here we go. So hello everyone, my name is Ashley Willis and I'm the Associate Director of Freshman Admissions at Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Some quick facts about us: we are located in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts, which is right along the Cape Cod Canal. So about an hour directly south of Boston, or about 45 minutes from Providence, Rhode Island. We have about 1,700 undergraduate students on campus. We are a state university of Massachusetts, as well as a state maritime academy, which essentially just means that we offer a very specialized set of academic programming. But from a general sense, we have a STEM-based education with a regimented campus lifestyle, which I will talk more about in a minute. So academically, we offer 7 undergraduate majors. They are all Bachelor of Science degrees. These are the majors that we have. 2 of these programs, Marine Engineering and Marine Transportation, allow students to earn a U.S. Coast Guard license in addition to their bachelor's degree, which essentially allows them to work out on large ships. The other 5 programs are a lot more loosely based in the maritime industry. So some students are pursuing work that's land-based, but in the maritime field. And we also have a lot of students pursuing non-maritime related work. What does tie all of these academic programs together is a learn, do, learn philosophy and hands-on experiential learning. So really what that means is that our students are spending time in the classroom, building that those basic skills, from the textbook, then going out and applying it either in labs on campus or through co-ops and internships or experiential learning trips, then coming back to the classroom to evaluate that hands-on learning experience that they've had and continuing that process throughout the course of the program. All of the programs also have a strong focus in STEM, so science and math is a really big part of our curriculum, even in programs like business or emergency management. And like I said, our students are pursuing careers on land and at sea. So I know maritime is in the name, and it's easy to focus on that, and those are our roots, but you're not limited to just the maritime industry. Aside from a unique set of academic programs, our campus life is also pretty unique. We are a regimented school, which means that our students participate in a military style structure that exists on campus. They wear uniforms, the day-to-day life is relatively structured, but they don't have a military obligation. So you're not joining the military by coming to Mass Maritime, and there is no obligation to do so. We have commissioning opportunities for students who would like to pursue that, but otherwise this is just the structure that exists on campus. The regiment is largely designed for students to build leadership skills, character, management skills, things that will really be useful to you in any career path that you go into. So it's turning your day-to-day campus life into a part of your academic experience. In addition to that regimented campus life, we do have more traditional aspects of campus life available as well. We have Division III varsity athletics. These are all the varsity teams that we have. We also have a number of club and intramural sports. Most notably, we have club ice hockey and club rugby, which both compete intercollegiately. So even though they're club sports, they are still a high level of competition. We have a great student government association that oversees about 30 clubs and organizations on campus. So lots of ways to get involved outside of that structured military style environment. We do still have kind of regular clubs and organizations. We have a student lounge on campus, a game room in the dorms. So there are opportunities for relaxation, getting a chance to break away from that structure, and regular events that are sort of integrated into that day-to-day life. From an admissions perspective, what type of student are we looking for? So our average GPA is about a 3.1 to 3.2, like a solid B average. I've included average SAT or ACTs. These are from prior to this year. This year we have been test optional. So if we have any seniors out there, we are still test optional for those applying for fall 2021. At this point, we haven't confirmed the extension of that test optional policy, but it is likely that we will be extending that for an additional year. In either scenario, our emphasis is certainly on GPA, academic rigor. Really look at what went into creating your GPA, the trend throughout high school, the classes that you've taken, the class levels. We're certainly looking for strength in math and science courses, since, like I said, that is the strong base of all of our academic programs. So, seeing that preparation that you've had in high school in those particular subjects. And I just wanted to share some opportunities to learn more. Currently, we don't have on-campus tours happening. We hope to restart those later this spring, but currently we just have virtual programming available. But we have regular virtual information sessions that happen on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you can get sort of an expanded version of what I just went through really quickly. We have cadet chats, which is an opportunity for you to speak one-on-one with one of our current students to hear a little bit about their experience, maybe a student who's in one of the majors that you're interested in. We have personal one-on-one interviews with all of our admissions staff and a virtual tour available on our website. So even though we are not able to have you on campus right now, we do have a lot of opportunities for you to learn more, hear from our current students, and see what some of our facilities have to offer. And lastly, this is my contact information as well as the contact information for our office. I am the counselor for New Jersey, so any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Obviously in the Q&A tonight or in the future, feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Ashley, thank you very much. And Ashley mentioned the Q&A, and I will also mention the Q&A. That's where you ask questions to any of our presenters during this presentation or during this session. And if your question's for a specific school, just name the school in your question. Up next, we will hear from the representative from LIM College.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Perfect. So as mentioned, hi, my name is Kara Schilder. I'm the admissions counselor for New Jersey for LIM College. We are located right in Midtown Manhattan. We have 3 academic buildings right here off Fashion Avenue, right off 5th Avenue. So you'll pass Rockefeller Center right on your way to class, pass Saks on 5th, Gucci, all of those great stores where you'll have the opportunity to intern, as well as we have a residence hall about half an hour walk away, but much faster via the subway, which you will learn to take in our first year experience class. Looking at our undergraduate class at a glance, we do have about 1,400 students in our undergraduate class. Whether you've started really looking at colleges yet or kind of just in the beginning phase, that number may seem a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller to you. It is a relatively small campus. We are a small privately owned school. And that does allow us to have that 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So all of our faculty and staff has worked in the industry prior to teaching at LIM or while teaching at LIM. So you're really learning about the industry from industry leaders themselves. It's really a chance for you to get that theory and turn it into practice. We have a very diverse student body. We're very proud to say that we represent about 40 states on our campus, as well as about 28 international countries. So it's just going through some of our majors that you can study here at LIM, since we are a very niche institution. I'll go through all of our bachelor's programs, which are a 4-year, as well as our 2-year associate's degrees. So beginning with fashion merchandising, it is our biggest, most versatile program. Works with everything from product development, buying, retailing, wholesale, planning, all the way into the consumer's hand. So that is kind of the overarching view. We have visual studies, which is our most creative major. It's really working in the studio, like this photo right here, working with hands, space, and color. We also have the marketing major, which is a little bit more self-explanatory, really figuring out how to brand yourself and how to brand your company properly. Management is really for my students who want to be the boss. So you're kind of working through those business hierarchies, learning about the office structure from the ground up. International business works a little bit more with those imports and exports. I know it sounds so amazing because it's global. Fortunately, fashion is so global, so you can really travel with any of our majors. International business deals a little bit more with that business law, the different customs and cultures of each country. Fashion media is our newest and one of our most popular majors at this time. It's really working with the media landscape in both the digital and print versions. Students who graduate from fashion media end up working in places like Allure Magazine or New York Post. We do also offer 2 associate's degree programs in fashion merchandising and management. Fortunately, if there are things that I said that are really interesting to you and you're interested in multiple majors, you can actually minor in any of our majors as seen here, and you can see a little bit more about our majors on our website, and I can drop that link in the chat. Something I wanted to make sure that I touched on is the internship experience here at LIM. We are very big on the learning by doing in the field, making that theory into practice. So you will be required to take 3 internships during your time here. Your first internship will be between your freshman and sophomore year. Your second will be somewhere between your sophomore and junior year. And lastly, your senior co-op. So your senior co-op, you'll be working about 40 hours in the field of your choosing. Monday through Thursday, and Friday, you'll be a student. So it's kind of that hybrid middle ground between personal and professional, so that you can really figure out what you want to do, figure out what you might not want to do, figure out what you thought you wanted to do, but maybe in the field, it's not so much your jam. And because you are required to take these 3 internships, you're kind of graduating light years ahead of other students who may be suggested to take internships, but may not be required. It did result in about 94% of our students employed in the field of their choosing upon graduation. Our 2020 numbers just aren't in yet, so I'm still using 2019. So how do you apply to LIM? I always say we're not on the common application because we are not a common school. So we will require all of your past transcripts, whether it's high school, college, any weekend or summer courses you may have taken at a community college. We are test optional, SAT, ACT optional. If you don't feel comfortable getting to a testing center or you can't get to a testing center, not to worry. We do not require an essay anymore. Instead, we do require short answers. So we will give you 4 prompts for short answers, and you can choose your favorite 3. They're things for us to get to know you a little bit better, like where do you see yourself in the fashion industry? Where do you see the fashion industry going in the next 4 years? Where do you see yourself fitting into all of that? We also no longer require letters of recommendation. We do, however, require reference contact information for me to get in touch with them. We understand everyone's a little bit zoomed out, a little computered out, so we're trying to make it a little easier for your references as well. For my juniors out there, we do have early action. It does open in August and it is due by November, so you will get a decision back around Christmas time. For my international students out there, we will require English proficiency, NACIS approved transcript evaluation, as well as an I-20 upon acceptance. For all of you who are seniors in this room, feel free to email us here for an application fee waiver for attending today's program and taking some time to spend with us tonight. So that's all I have for us today. Thanks for learning a little bit about LIM College, and I'm going to drop some contact information so you can figure out who your admissions counselor is in the chat below. Thanks so much.
Kara, thank you very much. And again, if you have questions for our presenters, use the Q&A button to ask questions, and the presenters will likely be sharing information with you through the chat as well. But if you have questions for them, use the Q&A button. Up next, we'll hear from our representative from Middlesex County College.
Good evening, all. How are you? Welcome. My name is Desiree Brower. I'm the admissions counselor at Middlesex County College. No, tonight I'm not sharing my screen. However, I can give you a little overview of MCC. We are in your backyard. We are one of the 19 community colleges here in the state of New Jersey. We offer over 90 degree and certificate programs and two types of associates, those that are transferable and then those that we call traditionally career-oriented. An example of a career-oriented degree, I'm only going to piggyback off my colleague. Yes, we have a fashion merchandising program. That is what is traditionally career-oriented. Student completes that degree, they can go out and work or they can transfer. Speaking of transfer, probably about 56% of our population does transfer from Middlesex County College on to senior institutions, those institutions granting baccalaureate degrees. Now, do I have to wait until I complete my associate's degree to transfer? No, you do not. We encourage you to do that though. However, students can transfer anytime that they want to. Let me give you an admissions overview. What does that mean? That means this. We're on a rolling admissions and applicants submit their application along with their transcripts, and then we render a decision. However, we do have some selective programs. So for those of you who are juniors and you're interested in the health field, nursing, dental hygiene, radiographic education, those applications will open up around August 1st, 2021 for fall 2022. Let me say that again. Those people interested in nursing, dental hygiene, radiographic education, those applications will open up around August 1st, 2021 for September of 2022. We use a selective admissions process. And so we encourage students to participate in one of what we call our health information sessions, where we go over the criteria and the deadlines. And yes, we do adhere to those deadlines. Yes, we're in a virtual world, and hopefully we're looking forward to being back on campus in September. Right now, we probably have about, I would say about 2,000 students on our campus that actually attend classes. All of the other ones are in what we call hybrid type classes, meaning they're in a virtual setting as well as they get to this kind of setting, where you're actually interacting with the professor via the Zoom, or what we like to use, Canvas session. All right. We have rolling admissions, like I said. The other thing, we have two other locations. We have a Perth Amboy site as well as a New Brunswick site. These are satellite sites, so students can take advantage of taking classes either on main campus, where we sit on 220 acres, or you can go to either our Perth Amboy or New Brunswick setting. So when do you apply? You create an application on our website, and when you create an application on our website, what you're going to do is then create your name. You're going to give us all the information. We offer over 90 degree programs. And with that, students get the opportunity to choose which way they would like to study. What would they like to do? Do we have cooperative education experiences? Yes, we do. Are students actually interns? Again, yes, we are. They participate in internships. Students have the opportunity to participate in all the federal and state aid programs. And many of you may have learned about what we call the Community College Opportunity Grant. That's a state-run program. If a family income is $65,000 or less, a student may be eligible for free tuition. Right now, tuition and fees are approximately $154.50 per credit. That's how we charge for students to attend classes. So if you were to take 12 credits, you're talking about somewhere in maybe $1,800 for semester. We're on a semester basis, meaning we begin in fall, which is our September through December session. And then we do spring, which begins in January and ends in May. Faculty student ratio is approximately 21 to 1. We do have very small classes. our professors are still active in the field. Well, what does that mean? You have the expertise of that person who may have actually worked in the hotel industry and did croissage and things of that nature. So you actually have the benefit of experts from the field. Excuse me. The other thing that you need to know about us is the fact that we also have our own scholarships. And yes, as a community college, yes, we do have some scholarships. They're all listed on our website, and students have to adhere to those deadlines as well. Testing. Well, we've always been test optional. And what does that mean? That means we don't require SATs or ACTs. However, if you've taken the SAT or ACT, we do use them for placement purposes. In this challenging environment that we're in, what we have now actually instituted as well as incorporating your NJSLA scores, not only that, your PARC scores based and your high school transcript to evaluate where you can be placed. Was we want you to be able to be successful. As I mentioned, we have transfer services available, and a lot of our students do transfer. We have a very active transfer department. Not only that, there are some senior institutions where right on our campus, they have actual office space. So Kane has office space on our campus. Felician has office space on our campus. This makes it easier for you to actually go in, make an appointment with one of those if you were interested in those schools. How do I transfer? What do I need to do? We have tutoring available. So all of our services are available as if you were actually on campus. We'd love to see you come on campus. My last piece is, yes, we're going to do an open house in April, and it will be a virtual open house, but it will be live sessions as well as some pre-recorded sessions. Again, welcome, and thank you for allowing me to share with you about Middlesex County College.
Thank you so very much. And if you have questions for anyone, if as one of the attendees and you have questions for one of the panelists, make sure you drop that question in the Q&A part of the Zoom meeting here. And if it's for a specific school, just make sure you mention that school in your question. Up next, we'll hear from Rutgers University.
All right, thanks so much. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mitch Marcus. I'm one of our admissions coordinators at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. I'm excited to be with you tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Just to give you a little bit of information about me before we get started, I am a proud Rutgers alumni. I graduated about 4 years ago from our School of Arts and Sciences with a bachelor's degree in psychology, 2 minors in biology and Spanish. Now I'm currently a graduate student at our School of Public Health. Like my colleague said, over from Middlesex County College, if Middlesex County College is in your backyard, we're your next door neighbor. We are located in New Brunswick in the heart of Middlesex County, and so I'm excited to share more about our university and all the things that go into Rutgers with you tonight. So who are we as an institution? Those of you may know that we're part of the Big Ten Conference. So we're a large public research institution. We're also part of this academic alliance in partnership with some peer institutions like Penn State, Ohio State, and University of Maryland. And so what that means for us is that we're very collaborative in nature. It's part of our history. It's part of our mission at the university to really get to the forefront of innovations and next adventures that students can have with us on campus. And so part of that includes having those partnerships with some of our peers and being a part of the Big Ten. Some of you may know that we also participate on the athletic side with things, and so I'll get more into that, but we do also have those athletic partnerships from being in that conference. When it comes to our makeup and our student body, we're proud to be the #1 most diverse school within our conference. And so I always say that the breadth and the depth of our student body is really unparalleled to some other colleges that you might see. Our students come from all different walks of life. We're really proud to be able to service students in a variety of different capacities. So if anybody on the call tonight identifies as a first-generation student or the first person in your family to go to college and obtain a 4-year degree, that's about 1/3 of our student body here on campus. And so there's a lot of support services in place, no matter what kind of background or area you come from. The other thing that we're really proud of is that, again, accessibility to research and having that ability for our students to really engage with us very early on in their undergraduate experience. We have over 175 research centers that you can be a part of. And again, this is happening throughout all these different disciplines. So we really do encourage students to get involved and get active with outside the classroom, especially with the ongoing projects and innovations that are taking place on our campus. Now, when it comes to Rutgers University, New Brunswick itself, you may be familiar that we have a 5 neighborhood structure in place. And so we kind of like to think of this as having their own unique flares and flavors to them on each part of our campus. Unfortunately, right now, we are not running in-person tours, but I'll be sure to drop some more information into the chat about how you can still engage with our current students and our staff on campus with us at this time. But pretty much the makeup of the campus itself is that we have an urban, suburban, and rural feel all in one. So depending on what you're looking for, you may be able to engage with all 3 kind of spaces, or pick one in particular that interests you the most. The nice thing about this is that each area itself is self-sustained, but also offers its own kind of unique opportunity to engage with student bodies, with different classes, professors, and really just build your own sense of community in what can be a very large campus setting. And so having over 36,000 undergraduates, but again, this compartmentalized kind of structure with our 5 campus structure allows you to really break down that larger Rutgers setting that I think a lot of you might be familiar with from being from the general area. Now, when it comes to our student life on campus, it's very diverse as well. We have over 750 student organizations located on our campus itself. Those could be anything from fraternities and sororities that we have on our campus, to cultural centers, to philanthropic organizations, organizations that revolve around sports, around art, music, volunteerism. We really do offer a lot of different areas in which you can focus your studies outside of the classroom to kind of, just take a break or maybe engage with the larger community that we have on campus. We do have a program called Are You First, which is again a nice kind of complimentary resource for our first generation students here to provide you with some academic support, peer support assistance, and mentorship opportunities that are exclusively for students who identify as first generation. If you're a big sports fan, you're absolutely welcome to engage with any of our Division I sports. Right now, you can watch it on TV like me when you're home, but hopefully in the future, we'll have you back on our campus to engage with some of these opportunities. If anybody is interested in philanthropy, one of the largest programs that we run on our campus is called the Rutgers Dance Marathon. It's where we kind of get on our feet and fight for a good cause. I'm sure you might be familiar with it if you've been looking at other peer institutions, but this is just one of the signature opportunities that really speaks to our student life. And I think ultimately student life is what's going to make your college experience more unique for you. It's your opportunity to, again, meet some peers with similar interests, similar ideas or concepts that you want to share. And so being a part of this Rutgers community and getting involved with us does mean that it offers a more full experience for you outside of what you can study in the classroom. When it comes to being in the classroom, we have 7 first-year schools that our students can apply to. And if we have any prospective transfer students on the call who may be possibly starting at Middlesex County College or another institution of their choice, you can absolutely still transfer into the university as well. For those of you who are seniors in high school, or maybe even our juniors who are going to be rising seniors next year, the flags that you see in red are going to be the choices that you have to come to the university. I won't go too much into each of these programs, but basically all you need to know is that we offer everything from a liberal arts education in our School of Arts and Sciences to more STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math focused opportunities in our School of Environmental and Biological Sciences, the School of Engineering, and the Ernest Mario School of Pharmacy, each having kind of their own unique aspects to things if you're interested in any of those topical areas. We also have the Rutgers Business School for anyone who's thinking about entrepreneurship, marketing, accounting, finance, any of those more traditional fields that you would accustom to a business program. For anyone who's more creatively inclined, for those of you who are thinking about the arts, we do have a small arts conservatory in our Mason Gross School of the Arts, where we have students actually audition or submit a portfolio as part of the review process. So it's an exciting place to be if you really want to craft your art with us in a smaller setting, but be a part of that large institution feel. For those of you who are really interested in healthcare as well, we also have the nursing program. All right, and then just jumping into how to apply really quickly, because I apologize, I don't want to take too much of your time. We are going to be test optional for next year. So for any juniors on the call, the SAT or ACT, you don't need to worry about if you're unable to take it. We do typically have an early action regular decision deadline as well. So if you are applying to us early, you can find us on either our website or the coalition application. November 1 is our early action deadline. December 1 is our regular decision deadline. And as long as you apply by that time frame, you're automatically considered for our merit-based scholarship opportunities as well as honors opportunities. If anyone does have any questions, wants to go through the application process with us, again, this is the best way to contact us currently since we're remote. Our email address is questions@admissions.rutgers.edu, or you can give us a call. We are taking phone calls at 848-445-1000. But again, thanks so much for listening to me for the past few minutes, and I'll be sure to share that information in the chat.
Mitchell, thank you very much. And I know we have some Q&A, some people who have asked questions through the Q&A, and that's great. And we have a few extra minutes here to go through that and give some time for people to do that. I'm going to ask each of our reps to come back on and answer. We're going to do a little bit of Q&A that I'll ask the questions and learn a little bit more about each of the schools and get some advice and that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and share the first question here. We'll just do it in a round robin format and answer in the same order that you presented. And the first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process right now? We'll start with the Massachusetts Maritime Academy rep.
Sure. So I think my biggest advice in the college search process is really to keep an open mind. I think it's easy to get stuck on sort of one track, or, you know, if you enter the process with an idea of the one school you want to be at, or the one thing that's the most important to you. I'm not saying, you know, lose sight of that or let that thing go off of your list, but don't let that crowd your entire search and prevent you from exploring other options, because there are a lot of schools out there and a lot of opportunities that you may have never even considered. When I look back on my own search process, I can see the ways in which I was blinded by, you know, tunnel vision on some things that I thought that I wanted. So really keep an open mind. And don't be afraid to explore schools that you haven't necessarily already heard of, because it doesn't mean that they don't offer great opportunities. It just means there's a lot of opportunities out there. And so that would be my main advice.
Excellent. LIM College.
Thank you. That's some great advice, Ashley. I definitely second that. Something that I would say is, as you're going through the college admissions process, don't be afraid to reach out to your admissions counselor. We want to talk to you guys as much as you want to talk to us. There's a reason we have all of this knowledge in our head, and it's to give it to you. So if you have questions, never hesitate to reach out, and your admissions counselor will have all of your answers. So absolutely keep in touch with your admissions counselor for sure.
Middlesex County College.
Hello. What I would tell you is have a conversation, a real conversation with your family. And when I say that, when you sit down and discuss where you're trying to go, do you want to be 2 hours away? Are you looking to go 6 hours? What's the difference between a college and a university? We all offer educational opportunities. There's something out there for all of you, and there's something for, so you need to now look at what's good for me. I often think about the young lady that I've met. She flew to Arizona to go to school, and unfortunately she got sick while in Arizona, and then her parents had to get on an airplane from here in New Jersey to fly out to Arizona, and it really took a toll on the admissions process for, you know, going to college for her. So think about that. Don't think about size. Do I want rural? Do I want city? What am I looking for? Those are the pieces that you want to think about when you're looking at college. But remember, Middlesex is a college, Rutgers is a college, LIM is a college, the Maritime is a college. So we all have the same word. We're all colleges. It's just different sizes, and you have to choose the one that best fits you.
Thank you. And Rutgers University.
Awesome, thanks. So I would say a lot of the sentiments that have been shared are definitely very true and things you should be considering in the process. I think, you know, the biggest piece of advice I could give you is remember that this is a process and things are going to take time. And so you need to be patient. You know, as we're working you through this process, we're trying to get lots of students through our pipelines, and we're also trying to ensure that whatever decisions you're making are going to be the best decisions for you and your family. So, take everything as it goes along in this process. You know, you may find that you're working with one school, but they really help you guide you to the path to the best possible institution. And that's something that I think you don't necessarily expect when you're speaking with an admissions counselor from one program. But, we're here to help you throughout this process because we understand that this is going to, impact your life and the choices that maybe you make down the road. So we all want you to find that best possible fit. So really see us as a resource, and, don't be afraid to have tough conversations with us, because at the end of the day, we just want you to find your next home and wherever that may be.
Sounds good. The next question. So the first question was more of a kind of eat your vegetables kind of question, like, about advice and all of that. But This question's more fun. What's your favorite event or tradition on campus? And you can be expanded to like a school tradition or that sort of thing. And again, we'll go in the order that you presented. So Massachusetts Maritime Academy.
Sure. So Mass Maritime, being the unique institution that it is, does have a variety of pretty unique traditions on campus. But one that really stands out to me is, so in their senior year, students from our licensed track programs take their U.S. Coast Guard exams on campus because everyone in the program is required to sit for the exam. And students actually get the results from it's like a week-long process, but they do get their results at the end. So they get to know in a pretty quick amount of time whether or not they pass. And when you do pass, which about 95% of our students do, we have a bell set up in like a center point in campus right in front of the dorms, and you get to go out and ring the bell to signify that you have passed your licensing exams. And it's just a really fun opportunity for everyone who has, spent 4 years working up to that license, but also for other students to come together and rally around their peers, even if they aren't sitting for a license exam themselves. So it's just a fun opportunity to really celebrate a real monumental moment for a lot of our students.
Sounds fun. LIM College.
Thank you. I'm excited that you asked this question, actually. So we have something every year. It's our annual LIM fashion show. Essentially, all of our students who are working in the merchandising field, who are working in the marketing field, who are working in management, everybody kind of comes together and uses their majors and their skills to put on this fashion show. So we have the merchandising students who are reaching out to showrooms to get different pieces and different like parts of the outfit. We have our styling club and our styling minors who come in to actually style these models who are actually students. So every year the LIM fashion show is hosted at an iconic New York City location, kind of using the city as our playground. In the past years, it's been at like the Hammerstein Ballroom, on the Air and Space, or at the Air and Space Museum, on the Intrepid. So every year it's a great time. We always have kind of like a celebrity host. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely check it out. You can find it on YouTube. And I'm very excited to see kind of how it goes virtually this year. We ended up having to pivot virtually last year. So our students actually are able to take a class this year to put on this fashion show and continue to make their connections, build those networks. So if you're a senior in here, it is after Accepted Students Day, and you will get a free ticket if you are an accepted student. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions about that. Thanks for asking.
Middlesex County College.
Sorry, I didn't take myself off mute. Well, there's two events that I'm thinking about. One is a community event that we do, and yes, we have community event. We have a very active student life organization. And what they do is they do a community Halloween Harvest Fest, and they open up the campus, and it becomes carnival-like. There is a hay ride and things of that nature, apple picking, pumpkin toss, et cetera, et cetera. So we get all of our students on campus involved with community service, and because they want to do that as a part of being in the community. The other thing that I'm thinking about is our plays that we do on campus. Every year they do a Broadway style play, and so they do in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. So there's students who participate who are music students, there are art students, do the set design and things of that nature. So there are a lot of fun things on campus, but those are the two things that I think really are the biggest events that draw not only students, but also the community back to campus.
Excellent. And Rutgers University.
Awesome. So one of my favorite traditions that I would say I enjoyed as a student, and something we continue with, is one of our homecoming traditions. It's called the bed races. So this is an opportunity for students to actually pull their mattress out of their residence hall. We close down College Avenue, which for those of you who have been to the campus before are kind of familiar with the Rutgers structure, College Avenue is kind of like the heart of the campus. So we shut it down. We put some bleachers up so that, fans can view and everything, and you get to race your mattress in teams down down College Avenue, which is a really just fun and community building experience. People get dressed up. We've had the Power Rangers, we've had, Pokemon before. So it's a really exciting and fun tradition. And it kind of just gets us kicked off for our homecoming weekend, which ends in a football game, which is really nice.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank everyone for sharing the fun information about and the fun traditions from your schools and campuses, and also the advice and the great information for each of your schools. And as you are catching up with the Q&A and finishing that up, I want to thank all of our attendees for joining us this evening for this presentation. When you close this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of other sessions that are being offered. So you can sign up for additional sessions where you signed up for this one. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings on this event, again, at the same place where you signed up for this session. Once again, thank you so much to each of our representatives for joining us tonight and presenting. And thank you all for attending. And that ends the presentation. But again, some of the questions will be answered here as we have the last couple minutes, even though we won't have anything going on other than just having the screen up. So we'll have some time for that. And again, the contact information that was shared in the chat, you can also contact your reps that way as well, if you see that there. Again, once again, thank you so much for participating and attending tonight.